All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checker TV. Somehow, it's already time for our regular season finale here at Talladega Superspeedway for the Area 51 Superspeedway Xfinity Series. So they've had 7 races. This will be race number 8, and again, they'll take the best 7 out of their 8 races, and that will score our top 8 drivers for the playoffs, our 4-race playoff, of course. So let's say it's somehow I feel like we blinked and it's all right. Come back right to it here. So it's gonna be fun to see. It's like a great car count looks like this evening. So it's gonna be all about those bonus points and strategies and what's gonna be the one to put these drivers on top. So as they run right now, drivers putting down their qualifying laps as we speak. So let's go over that all important points coming into tonight. And right now, what you see here is the top 6 out of 7 races. And of course, after tonight, it's going to show the top 7 out of 8. So you can see right there, the top 8 sitting in the 8th spot currently is Eric Laurie. But as you can see right now, he's sitting at 170 points. And I mean, you go down to the 11th place of Zach Workman at 165. So it's only a 5-point differential between 8th and 11th. And then another 9 back to Bud Steele there in 12th. And again, this is with the one drop week, you can never really count anything out. You don't know how maybe your top 6 versus your top 7 scores, so it's going to be very tight for a few drivers to try to make it in. Right now, one driver on the outside trying to get back in is Dean Wilkinson, who has a win in this series in 10th position. Obviously, Gabe Butler feeling pretty solid there. I think he's pretty much mathematically locked in. But everybody else, I think, from Kevin Freeze on back may not be completely locked in. And of course, Kevin, the other one too, missing a couple of races. That drop week could hit him a little harder as well in at 25. So we'll have to see after tonight. But currently coming tonight, top 8 will be Gabe Butler, Kevin Freeze, JD Crow, Robert DuPont, Cody Nagels, Vicente Guerrero, Randy Minor, and Eric Laurie. But again, that's why we're here. There's no guarantees how this is all going to be ending up. So good luck to the drivers that are going for the title. And of course, just of those going for the win tie, again, that's going to be the thing, is it's going to be the tale of 2 different strategies. Drivers going for championship points, drivers going for the win. And that's saying that at some point, again, you're racing just those 8 around. You're going to be racing the other 20, 30 plus drivers on track here. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you all have been having a wonderful weekend here as they're just getting into the fall season, although Arizona doesn't really feel that much like it over here. It's still about 90 plus degrees. But yeah, so hopefully you all are having a good weekend, as my cat would agree as he's yelling at me in the background here. So be joined in the booth here shortly by Matt Wagner. As drivers again making laps right now as we speak. About a minute left in qualifying. So far, 14 drivers have made laps, but I see about a half dozen or so drivers still on track. I think a couple of those guys maybe trying to make a late run, maybe see if the track temperature or something like that changes just a little bit. Maybe try to steal an extra tenth or hundredth or even thousandth of a second, because we've seen that does come into play in these races here. So far this season, we've had a couple different winners. So far, it's been Dean Wilkinson winning the season opener, followed by Gabe Butler winning 2 in a row. Then JD Crow getting the win at Talladega, followed by Randy Minor getting the win at Talladega. And then 2 in a row for Kevin Freeze to bring us to that 8th race here coming up tonight. So that's going to be the question, is which drivers are going to maybe try to see if they can partner up with one another, get maybe sub-drafting partners that they feel comfortable with. Or are we going to see maybe a bit of a spoiler at some point tonight here in this one? So we've just got a little bit of time left here before we get under grid. And it looks like we're going to have 18 drivers taking a lap in qualifying. But it looks like we're going to have about upper 20s in the field here tonight. So again, great turnout. Always love seeing everybody in here supporting the league and series. So it's going to be a lot of fun here tonight. All right, with that, looks like qualifying has completed. Now we will pull up our starting grid for tonight's event. And on pole position, it is going to be that number 16 of Jimmy Crow Jr., knocking off Gabe Butler for the top spot by 1/1000th of a second. Next to him, in the second round, we're going to have Robert DuPont, winner last Thursday night in the 07. Again, big congratulations to him by 1/1000th over Gary Jenkins in 4th. Then you got Dean Wilkinson, we just mentioned there, in 5th. Les Levy, JD Crow, Eric Laurie, Zach Workman, Cody Nagels rounding out our top 10. Continuing on back 11th, you've got the number 59 of Jay Hilliard, Vicente Guerrero in the 14th and 12th. Continue down the order, Tom Dixon, Dude Conrad, Robert Rock, David Overstreet, Robert Jordan, and Nick Manfredi back in the field here tonight. Always good to see Nick on track. And then leading off drivers not putting a qualifying lap down will include in 19th position the number 23 of Brian Wang. Then you got Donald Stewart, Paul Turner, James Mohan, Bob Fitzgerald, Bud Steele in 24th. But then again, the list goes a little further here. Then you also include Dan Harrington, Ivan Deschamps, Guy Brecco, and Randy Miner will be our 28th and final starter for this evening's event. So it's a great start here for Jimmy Crowe Jr. Get that pole position. Again, I say it's going to be fun to see the strategy for drivers kind of going for points, possibly some way trying to just going to be that big teammate here, try to help some guys. Maybe we see Gabe Butler kind of play the team player for some of his teammates. I do see, again, you look at some of the team like Bootnacker, for example, like I see Eric Laurie right on the cutoff in 8th position, Dean Wilkinson right there, Robert Rock right there as well for TW, as well as the Bad Company team, and also Zach Workman right there as well. So there's a lot of, like I said, there's some big hitters that maybe some teammates say, hey, I feel pretty comfortable, or I'm in points, or even some teammates who say, hey, I can't make the playoffs. Let's make our job to try to help those guys that are on the bubble or just outside the bubble try to push their way into the top 8. So I think we will see a lot of team strategy here this evening. It's going to be a lot of fun to see as the field's starting to roll off before we get underway here for 78 laps. And yeah, definitely appreciate you, Dean. Glad to see you back on track here. Hope you're doing well, sir. Good luck tonight. And Kevin, always a pleasure to have you in the chat here. Obviously, rooting on that 06 of Cody Nagels. I say Cody looking good in points though right now, sitting in the top 5. So I suspect we'll probably see that 06 trying to work, like I mentioned earlier, with Zach Workman in the 18, possibly going try to help his teammate get into the points, along with Vicente Guerrero, so they can have a good limitless team in that top 8 in the points for the 4-race playoff here soon. As they head down the backstretch, it looks like 27 drivers have taken to the track. So unfortunately, one driver not showing so far is the 101 of Randy Miner. So unfortunately, don't see him here this evening. Also looking through the list, I also don't see the 25 of Kevin Freeze. So I'll have to keep an eye on the points for Kevin after tonight's race and see if he can make the top 8. He's missed a couple. Again, he's had 2 wins in a row, so I say those wins will be very important. Maybe still keeping him in the top 8, so we'll have to keep an eye and see how that's all going to shake out. But right now, though, it's going to be the 16 and the 1 leading the field to the green. Row 2 going to be the 07 and the 90, Robert DuPont and Gary Jenkins. And then you got Dean Wilkinson, Les Levy going to bring up row number 3. All right, so pace car is going to head off into the down pit lane here. Start leading into the trial. It's going to hand it over to our front row. Again, initial start is on the green, and from there on, the drivers have control of all the restarts. So it's going to be wait for that green flag to fly. Once they get into that Geico restart zone, then everybody's going to grab a gear and get underway. As you see, everybody getting to go right off the bat here. The 16 Jimmy Crowe Jr. A little separation between he and the 07 there, Robert DuPont. This gives Gabe Butler a great charge through the gears into turn number 1. Not quite clearing the 16. Actually, looks like he is clear, but I think staying committed to his teammate in the 90. So let's keep an eye on those two. Actually, they separate now. This is going to give momentum back to the 16 of Jimmy Crowe Jr. Got one down on the apron there. That's the 18, actually, of Zach Workman. A little surprised by this. Kind of expected Zach to maybe go a little aggressive early, but he's actually opting to start towards the back here. Drop to the back, I should say, early on. As up top there, you see the number 62 of Les Levy trying to work the third lane. No takers yet. As Gabe Butler and Jimmy Crowe Jr. looks like they're going to be the drag race here down through the travel here to start lap number 1 and see who's going to lead this first lap. And looking good right now for that one car. Indeed, give lap number 1 to Gabe Butler there. He will lead that lap, get that bonus point. So they just add to his collection that he has acquired over the course of this season. But again, I say still we'll have to be keeping an eye, kind of one eye on the race, one eye on the points. As you see the 16 there of Jimmy Crow Jr., he's going to drop to the back now in the 16. He didn't get the lap he wanted there, but I think he's decided he's going to kind of play it a little bit safe, as now it's going to be the 1 and the 90, kind of sending it off into 3 leading the front. Say Gary Jenkins, again, relatively new this season, but very quick right off the get-go. So not a surprise to see Gary up front. And again, a great help right behind him in that number 55 of Dean Wilkinson. As Dean, of course, be in his best interest to push that 90 clear, and it looks like he will, as I believe we'll try to see Dean lead a lap here soon as well. But again, the 90 does lead a lap, and I believe is clear of Gabe for the moment, but no longer. So now give that inside line momentum back to that one machine. So it looks like we got kind of a tale of two strategies going on right now. You got the top pack here being led by, from Gabe Butler, Gary Jenkins, all the way back to James Mohan in the the 7 machine. Then you go to the 6 machine of Bud Steele here, kind of leading the second pack. These are the guys look like playing it safe early here, as they are about that half a second or so back. As I say that, of course, starting to kind of close that gap back up. But then, yeah, we got some of the other drivers. Vicente Guerrero, he's kind of rolling to the back here early on as well. There's Cody Nagels dropping back as well. So right now a little bit of different strategy here is Ivan Deschamps on the 019 a little bit towards the back as well. And unfortunately, Paul Turner looks like he's missed, kind of fallen out of the draft here, and also looks like early troubles for Randy Miner and Guy Bracco. Although I believe Randy may have had to serve a drive-through early for a previous incident on a previous race. Not 100% sure, but just looking at, looks like he did have a drive-through pit stop penalty. So. That might be what happened to the 101. So right now we still do have a fair number of drivers here. In this main pack, we do have 3 that have kind of unfortunately separated from the field. Looks like they're coming up in the 69, who's actually heading onto pit road as we speak. So right now it's going to stay and continue with that 1 and the 90 leading this front row here.
Sorry for the delay there, buddy.
It's always good to have you here, Matt, whenever that may be. Say right now it's been pretty much the 1 and the 90 controlling the race. We had some movers, comers and goers here. Say Jimmy Crow Jr. pole sitter dropped to the back here by decision. That being said, the whole field has kind of found their way back together here. But talk about risk versus reward here, Matt. And again, I'm seeing a lot of playoff drivers definitely playing it on the cautious side as we speak. Just kind of staying towards the back, waiting to see how this race shapes out before they start to make those big moves, possibly later on in the race. Leaving some of those that feel comfortable in the points, like Gabe Butler, for instance, kind of being willing to be aggressive and just kind of control the pace of this thing.
Yeah, I'm really surprised Gabe's up there. Usually we'd see him fall to the back and drive a little cautious race, and maybe I might expect him to drop the back here soon, or maybe he's going for an extra bonus point for leading the most laps. Could be possible.
And I think this is a race where he doesn't have to be cautious. That's one of those ones where it's like, you know what?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, as I say that, there you go. He drops to the bottom.
He heard me.
Oh, a little bit of contact between the 90 and the 07, or sorry, the 90 and the 07, I'm sorry. I think the 90 thought he was clear of Robert DuPont, was not, and that really slows down that inside and middle momentum. That's going to bring Les Levy having a chance to get to the front here with great pushing by David Overstreet here. We'll hop up top on that number 68 machine, pushing the 62. As you can see, they have just about cleared the middle line, but not the bottom here. As our most recent winner in the 07, Robert DuPont, on Thursday night, going to try to lead this lap, and it looks like he will, with great help from JD Crow in that 07, or sorry, in the 5 machine, pushing the 07. And yeah, the momentum unfortunately kind of fell back, so that third lane kind of falling once again a little bit further back than they'd like to. But yeah, like you said though, Matt, Gabe kind of listened to you there, and he's like, yeah, you know what, second thought, let's drop to the back there. So it did look like he was ready to control the field there. So, but yeah, so far so good for these guys up front.
What a hot streak that 07 car has been having. I ain't gonna say nothing. You know, I don't want to jinx anything, but he's doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we've talked about, is just how much he's improved over the course of the last couple of seasons, putting himself in multiple podiums this season and having multiple chances at wins, and just finally got the right break at the right time. And I mean, and that's what it takes, is you got to keep putting yourself in those positions, and at some point it's going to pay off. And for Dean, that one was on Thursday. It was really fun to see and be a part of, and yeah, it's gonna be fun to see because a lot of times too that kind of takes that pressure off you, Matt, where you're like, okay, you kind of loosen up a little bit, drive a little bit more comfortable, kind of less tense maybe, knowing that you finally got that win that you've been going after for so long. But on the other side of that as well, I mean, he can't go full relax because, again, this is two different series. You got the Thursday night series, of course, where he's doing quite well getting that win, and then he is really close to the points here tonight in this 07 machine. Currently sitting in tied for third in points, but not a huge margin to play with on the points. So you can't really rest on what he's got right now. He still has to stay aggressive and like he's doing right now, getting bonus points, the leading lap. So Robert doing exactly what he needs to here early on.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. For him to take down this championship, he's going to have to be aggressive. Beat Gabe. It's going to be tough. He knows what to do. He's been to victory lane. You saw on Thursday. Hopefully he can bring one here tonight.
Yeah, that would be definitely the icing on the cake for the 07 to get two in a row basically on the Thursday, then followed by the Sunday, which we've seen a few drivers do before. Gabe Butler recently, of course, doing that, kind of kicking off with just a huge surge of speed in that number one machine. But right now, I'm going to do an update though for one of our dedicated viewers of Kevin Nagels. A little bit of movement there mid.
That beat to 68.
I think that hung on to it though. Yeah. Yeah, great save by 68 and 62. That's going to slow their momentum down here. They are going to catch some lap traffic here in just a second, which is the 101 of Randy Miner, which will put him one lap down. As you see, he's going to jump to the third lane, let everybody swing on by down on the inside, as Gary Jenkins looks like he's going to take this opportunity to drop to the back here, as he got what I think he was looking for. Say, all right, now it's time to back it down. He'll probably pop in right in front of the one car of Gabe Butler. No, he's going to back down a little further. This is where I get nervous, Matt. If you back down too much, lose too much momentum, but looks like the 16 and Jimmy Crow Jr. is going to pick him up very kindly. But yeah, so for Kevin Nagels, trying to see where Cody and them are, still in the main pack here, but they are going to lose a little ground with that checkup and everything that was going on there. So they're going to have to hustle back up here. Again, I'm not too worried about the 14 and the 06 yet. Again, I think their goal is to probably work with the 18 of Zach Workman, who's right now up with Gabe Butler. So with all that shuffling around, though, that's now moved Eric Laurie to the point here, though, Matt. And again, for Eric, he needs all the bonus points he can get, so he's going to get that one, I believe, last time by leading that last lap. So that's, again, great for Eric. Again, he was the bubble driver coming into tonight, so this is what he needs to do. He needs to make sure he collects any and all bonus points he can. Of course, the number one being, though, Matt, incident free. If you can get away with it here, get those big 3 bonus points.
Yeah, that's pretty tough to be incident free, especially at a restricted plate race. My luck has not been too good, but some of these drivers make it look easy, and that's I respect that very much.
Yeah, that's the exact thing. There's how easy some of these drivers make things look. So right now, like you said, it's been now Eric Laurie up in the front with JD working with him. Right now in the main pack, we've got a couple of big climbers. One of those is right there pushing that number 5 machine of Tom Dixon. He is plus 10 from his starting position. And then Nick Manfredi working that middle lane here as well, kind of in the middle of that 3-wide sandwich, plus 12 as he runs. So a few drivers making some big moves early, trying to kind of pull themselves up in the running order here. Because, again, you got to be careful about when and where you want to be in position here, because pit stop's probably still a little ways away, not quite halfway through the fuel run, probably about the next lap or two. Usually I think I've heard about 26, maybe 27 is about the right number for how far you can go, as we're on 13 now. But yeah, as you see, there's JD Crow clearing Eric Laurie. That's going to move JD to the front, work with that teammate in the 071. But yeah, the field number is going to be important, and as I was able to kind of validate, you got to be careful where you are on track. You do not want to be in the back of the pack, in my opinion, coming pit stop time, because just the chance of losing the lead group is just extremely likely, and it's hard to claw back. So yeah, I think the more track position you have, the better for sure here. Good evening, Mr. Gunny. Hope you are having a good evening as well. So I hope you're just getting started here, not too far into this one, but yeah, getting going here again, lap number 14 this time around of the 78. say one of our IndyCar drivers that's been, I say, Matt, I know you've kind of been working with him a lot so far this season.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what's great about it is we got so many different kind of series and leagues and groups, and just, I say, everybody's kind of just getting comfortable with various things. And, I mean, I say some of these guys that haven't kind of done IndyCar for too long have really kind of picked it up and are just really starting to improve quickly and very impressively. Oh, see, Ivan Deschamps kind of dropping pretty quickly to the back here, man, in the 019 car. Car looks okay, but when they drop back that quickly, it kind of catches your attention. And actually, he's got some, looks like some damage to the passenger door of that 019 machine. So possible wall contact for Ivan there. Yeah, you can see. Let's get a better look at there. Yeah, definitely some pretty significant right front contact. So he's going to need to try to stay in the pack here, though. Maybe tag onto this 101 and hold onto this draft, because otherwise he'll be the next one to lose the main pack, and that's going to make his night very, very difficult. But right now, the third lane just hasn't picked up here yet, Matt. That the 68-62, they have been very dedicated trying to make it work with Les Levy and David Overstreet, but just hasn't had that overall push to get clear of the inside and middle lanes.
Speaking of people who usually run, running up toward the front, I'm looking way in the back. I'm looking at the 14 and an 06, and I don't see the 18 anywhere. Where is
18 is just a couple cars ahead of him.
A couple cars ahead of him. Yep.
Yeah, this is damage limitation. They're playing it safe right now. I say don't be concerned if you're a Limitless fan. I say they're biding their time. I say that's why you see Gabe Butler back there as well. They've got a strategy here. Obviously, we don't know when it's going to happen, but we know it's coming at some point in this race. Whether it's before or after the first pit stops is yet to be seen. But while we took a peek back at them, though, I think the 411, Tom Dixon, able to shove that 59 of Jay Hilliard to the point. He clears the inside line, drops down, and now the outside lane, that you see the 62, Les Levy just a nose ahead entering 3. Can't quite clear yet, but they are making that charge we were just talking about a few laps ago.
Great to see Jay Hilliard run up toward the front. Yeah, not many chances you could see him. I remember last week he had a shot at it. Him and the 07 had a good shot at it last week, but that was none to beat. The 25 took the checkered flag that time.
Yeah, no, Jay's been the same thing. He's been really good of late as well. So I feel like he's really improved over the course of the couple seasons he's been here. And yeah, I mean, he's been one that's been in that mix. I mean, there was the race, I think it was actually that Thursday race where there was a big breakaway from the field, and Jay Hilliard is one of those drivers that was in that breakaway. Just unfortunately, the cautions came out on Thursday night compared to the previous Thursday where it went caution-free. So it kind of ruined Jay's chances of trying to do that runaway and high type strategy of the races. So, but right now, doing well here, controlling the field here, leading that inside line. But yeah, right now I think there's going to be that strategy. Now you got to figure out what's the plan here, though. You're catching the 4 machine of Paul Turner. Paul, another one of those, I believe, may have missed the start of the race. I'm not 100% sure, or may have had some early troubles that we missed. But so he's about to get swallowed up by the pack, and it looks like, though, graciously, these guys have kind of gone single file or double file, I should say. So it should go, as I said, actually, Paul drops to the apron to kind of just give him the room. But I was going to say maybe he had a chance to actually run on the third lane. But now this is that very tight position here, because you got to be careful, especially when you're kind of straddling the 2 bankings at Talladega. He's just going to lose too much momentum here, Matt. He backed it down too much to make sure he didn't affect the outcome of the race there, and he will lose that pack once more, so he's going to be rolling solo again for a few laps here, unfortunately. Maybe he can tag onto the 019 of Ivan Deschamps, because Ivan also lost the draft in that 019 car, so maybe those two can try to work together to maybe just at least limit some of the damage that they've got going on here. But as they got by that 4 machine, though, I say it's all back, aggression all back in the mix again here, because that third lane, no surprise, Les Levy right back up top with David Overstreet working that third lane.
Yeah, I noticed some of the drivers had tried to let him in, and I guess he got a little bit too afraid and didn't want to cause any incidents.
Yeah, and I think also when you see a pack kind of chasing you down at probably about, 20 miles an hour faster, it feels like you kind of like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and get out of the way, because it gets a little bit touchy, and you get a little nervous there for sure. But so right now, though, Matt, it looks like everything essay for being 2-3 wide race here. Pretty calm here so far. Again, feeling this should be right on the 2-step mark. These guys need to make sure that they can get to lap 26 to safely make it to the end. I do think we see some drivers maybe try to go that extra lap or so just to maybe not have to pit in a giant pack. And that's where I start to watch those drivers like the 1, the 18, the 23, the 1406 and such. They've been sitting in this pack for a long time. I feel like just pretty much just saving and playing it safe. So if they've been saving fuel, maybe get that extra lap that some of these guys that have been pushing aren't able to make. Then you make that big charge right before the pit stop cycle. You kind of jump up top, run that second or third lane, and that way you're not pitting from, again, right now we're looking to lead pack here, Matt. With Jay Hilliard leading, we'll go back to about that 24th position of Gary Jenkins. And right now he sits about 2 seconds. Yeah, 2 seconds off the lead. So, I mean, that just tells you how important it is to be up front. Because, I mean, again, if you pit at 2 seconds of a deficit, it's only going to increase if you just don't hit absolutely everything perfectly.
Yeah, there's a driver I've not seen in quite some time. That 29 to Mick Monfredi. He's trying to make his way up through the middle of the track and trying to get the 0411 a push.
Yeah, Nick hasn't been running too frequently. I say kind of a part-timer this season, but yeah, I say when he's here though, say he's gonna let him know that he's ready to go and ready to have some fun here tonight. So he's doing a great job, like I said, working with that 411 of Tom Dixon. But what I am seeing though, Matt, is that inside line is starting to get bigger and bigger, and the outside line is starting to lose the groupings that they had. You see the 62, he's worked down to the middle lane with Les Levy, Dan Harrington as well. And then the 68 of David Overstreet just finally is able to get down to the middle as well. But then those are the only 5 cars up top. Everybody else is running the bottom line, running that yellow line here. I think they know that this is about the time that they got to start being ready to not be locked on the outside line to hit pit road.
What are we thinking about? Lap 26?
I think
what we said last
yeah,
time?
I think lap 26 will be the first lap we see drivers hit pit road. And then, like I said, I do think we're going to see a little bit of a split. I think maybe 26 to 28 at the furthest. But most likely it'll probably be a chunk in 26 and then the rest at 27. And that'll probably be everybody on pit road. Do need to mention, I believe we might have a couple early retirements looking at the timing and scoring. Unfortunately, I believe Paul Turner just still sitting on pit road. Guy Bracco in the 69 looks like he has retired, unfortunately. As I say, to the 019 of Ivan Deschamps hitting pit road on his own again. He lost the draft earlier with that damage he had. He just hit pit road as well. So, but again, up front, I think we'll still have a couple more laps before we see any movement from our leaders on pit road. But right now, again, just kind of poking around. And right now, our highest climber as things run is this number 6 machine of Bud Steele there in that green Bellhaven machine. Say Bud right now up 15, 16 now spots in that number 6 machine. Right in front of him, Donald Stewart in the 78. He has gained 13 spots, so these guys have made pretty big moves here from early on. So, again, still lots of time to go in this thing. But, yeah, these guys, yeah, now everybody's starting to get to the bottom here. You saw the 29 just sneak in front of Les Levy there. Yeah, we've got the Dale Earnhardt Jr. train now being led by Jay Hilliard, but this time on the inside line, on the yellow line instead of up against the wall.
Now you wonder why those Limitless team guys, I wonder how much fuel they save. Will they go work their way up toward the front here? Probably the next few laps.
Yeah, I think at some point they're going to pretty much have to jump up top to try to make a move. I think the question is going to be when to make that move. And I think, we're on 25 now here, actually coming to 26 this time at the line. So we might see our first taker. So the thing we're going to have to keep an eye out here, I'll try to kind of watch the back a little bit. I feel like at some point there's going to be somebody that's going to pop out and try to make that second lane go and kind of try to beat again, build that momentum up on the top side. But so far, no takers yet.
Yeah, I got your leaders pitting here this time.
Yep, and here they come. That's going to be the 59, the 07. You see JD and Eric Laurie, they're going to continue on, though. So, yeah, here's the first pack here. Looks to be about eight or so cars. So far, looks like everybody gets in clean. I don't see any contact with any walls or pit cones, I should say. So, yeah, now, though, look how it's spread out the field, though, as I believe.
Oh, we got a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I think Robert Jordan looks like he had an issue there. I'm trying to find him on. Oh, yeah, right after the start-finish line, actually. Let's go see if try to find what happened to Robert real quick here before we get back going after it here. The 7 and the just huge speed difference between the 74 and the 7. Maybe I wonder if the 74 maybe was running out of fuel. Unfortunately, he takes a pretty solid shot there, and then loops around. But we stay off the racing surface, so it stays green. We'll jump back live though, because I believe we'll probably see the response now for these drivers to hit pit road. And yep, here they come: Eric Laurie, JD Crow, Robert Rock, Dean Wilkinson, and company all hitting pit road. And again, so it is going to be a 2-lap split of windows here, as you see. Now it's going to be about same thing, about 8 to 10 drivers hitting pit road, but now it's being led by some of those limitless drivers that we just talked about. The fuel saving there, Matt. Brian Wang leading Zach Workman, Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagels, and then Gabe Butler and Gary Jenkins. So they've decided, like I said, they've made the move. They're going to push that extra lap here, and this is where they're going to kind of do that big push. They're going to be very aggressive here to try to gain as much time as humanly possible, and then jump onto pit road here probably this time around. So they've done their fuel saving. Now it's time to make that big lap here, and we'll see a very aggressive pit road entry by these guys.
Oh, Leslie, we got caught. It looks like
so far so good for these guys, all hitting pit road. Yeah, looking for pit penalties, and yeah, Leslie. I think that's probably actually a mistake on exit, it looks like. We'll go back up front, though, because, Eric Laurie had a good pit stop. Didn't have the help he needed, and look at the 171, the 55, Robert Rock and Dean Wilkinson. They're going to push around the 071, and now Eric gets his help he was looking for from that 5 of JD Crow, but Seal just about to tag back on, and then here's those drivers that pitted that one lap before, starting to make their momentum and shift back towards the front here. That number 59 of Jay Hilliard, with help from the 78, the 07 there as well. So now the question is going to be the second pack, how well they did coming in and out of the pits. It looks like not a great stop for a couple of them. Vicente Guerrero, Gary Jenkins, they're just about to get swallowed up right now as they go through 1 and 2. So it's going to now jump up to the second pack here, being led by Cody Nagels in them. And yeah, here they come as well. So really, Brian Wang's the one that really got the best entry and exit out of those guys. They will all stay in the main pack here, but the lead is going to switch right now to Robert Rock. So great job by that 171 taking the point here. Those bad company teammates working very, very well together. Is now the 071 going to clear, as well as Bud Steele. And so once everybody kind of settles in, we'll look to see kind of where everybody is spaced out, because I'm a little nervous here about Vicente Guerrero, Matt, because he is about 9/10 and dropping. He has no help behind him for another 2 seconds or so, which is going to be Gary Jenkins, who's also kind of on his own until he gets to then Bob Fitzgerald, Dan Harrington and company. So right now, it's going to be tight sledding for Vicente. He's right on the edge. I think actually looks like Cody's playing teammate here. Yeah, look at Cody dropping back to pick up his teammate. That is some very, very impressive teamwork from these guys here. Cody's going to pick up Vicente, try to bring them all back into the mix here. So we'll see if it works. We'll keep an eye on the timing and scoring. Right now up front, it's still the 171 of Robert Rock leading with help from Dean Wilkinson. But here comes Brian Wang ready to make his charge. He saved that first one. He said, all right, time to go. And Dean Wilkinson said, yeah, maybe you want to push me here. So I want to lead a lap here in that 55. Again, I am going for the points here. I want to try to get some of these points back. So I want a bonus point. And that is exactly what Dean looks like. Well, we'll see. I won't count my chickens yet because it is tight at the line. But I believe Dean Wilkinson does lead that lap.
not a surprise up toward the front. You was a contender last week. We had a hell of a finish last week. Let's see if we can kind of finish it off.
So far so good. I'm looking at the intervals here, and unfortunately, I think Vicente was not able to keep up with Cody, and so Cody is kind of just has, hey, if I back off too much, I'm gonna lose the pack too. So he's had to kind of pick up his pace to catch David Overstreet back again. So he tried all he could, but unfortunately, he just wasn't able to do it. So right now for Vicente, he's gonna have to wait for some help to catch back up to them.
He's got help coming.
Yeah, so it's going to be in the arms right here of Bob Fitzgerald, Dan Harrington, Randy Miners in that group as well, Gary Jenkins. So they've got a solid group of guys here. So we'll keep an eye on the lap times. But yeah, right now, Nick Manfredi, Cody Nagels, they're just about to tag right back onto the pack here. So yeah, unfortunate there for Vicente, but again, still plenty of time to go. And I'm looking at the pit stop time, Matt, and that's all it took was Vicente had a 13.8 second pit stop. Everybody else around him was in the upper 11s, maybe mid to low 12s. So that extra second and a half, I mean, that's the difference between being in this pack and falling out of the draft. That's just how tight things are.
That may be an error on his part for taking 4 tires.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you do wonder if maybe the tires were still switched on to all 4, possibly. And that's one of those things like we'd have to go back and check. So right now we'll focus on the lead up front because it's been a good battle here between those Bad Company drivers on the inside line, and then you got Brian Wang with the 5 of JD Crow working the second lane here. Then you got TW there also up there in the second lane with Jay Hilliard. And again, I'm watching Jay because he's kind of a dark horse here where he can maybe try to work at some point with the Bad Company drivers, even with being TW. Say that those guys have been teammates and worked together for a long time. So even if they're not kind of in the same Discord possibly or official teammates, that's still a great opportunity for these guys to get a good result. So I would watch for the 59 at some point to work with each other. But yeah, right now though, it's just pretty much this drag race between the 55 and the 23 up front. So we'll run around here a little bit, and let's try to find some drivers we haven't chatted too much about yet tonight, because we always don't want to ignore anybody. And again, for viewers, if there's anybody that you want to watch or kind of get any updates on or anything like that, definitely feel free to chat. Let us know. Give us an update. We'll definitely check it out. So you did see right there, Brian Wang was able to clear the 55, though, of Dean Wilkinson. So now Brian back to the point, which will now allow JD Crow to lead the outside line with help from that 59. And so, yes, like I said, we'll jump around the field here just a little bit. As right now, one of the ones that I don't think we've had too much chance to talk about is the 8 of Dude Conrad, actually. And say, obviously, not one to surprise to see him up front. Got a podium on Thursday night as well in the trucks at Talladega. He's also one of those ones where he hasn't been able to really run the full season, but when he does, he is always one to watch out for. Been always so quick. And he's just a really fun guy too. Get to kind of talk to him every so often in Discord. Yeah, just a great guy to kind of talk with, and doesn't take anything too seriously, and just a lot of fun to work with. So right now he's holding strong here in the top 10 in that 8 machine. So wouldn't be surprised to see him make some moves later on. And then also looking around here,
78.
Yeah, 78 Donald Stewart, that Gravedigger machine. I say Donald definitely won. I think he's maybe missed a couple races this season, but Donald's also been one, though. Same thing, kind of get him in the right place at the right time, and he is always one to keep an eye on in these things. So, speaking of, I don't know if Dude is listening, and said, you know what, I'm ready to go 3 wide. Because I know one thing Dude has talked about before when I've had a chance to chat with him kind of during the race or post-race and so on. He doesn't like to just sit around and ride, and especially doesn't like to do fuel save races. And so I think he's like, you know what, I've done my sitting around riding. I want to go and make some moves here. Because, I mean, look at up front, though, that the second lane is really fizzled out here. And this is actually a great opportunity. And just watching it now, as you see them coming up on a couple lap cars here, one of those being the 62 here of Les Levy. They're going to try to work around here. I think I also saw the 7 of James Mohan there that they just got by, who's missing the front clip of his car. That's not a good sign there for him. But what I saw right there, though, is Zach Workman worked his way to the top side here. The first driver up top, because again, importantly, Matt, he was on the outside looking in, so he needs bonus points. So I don't think he's led a lap yet in that 18 car, and he's got a great pusher behind him in that 23.
Another driver we haven't really talked about all day. How about that 6 of Bud Steele? I'm actually kind of digging that paint scheme a little bit of old school.
Yeah, it's a good-looking paint scheme by Bud. And there goes 18. A great push from Brian Wang's going to get the 18 out to the point. But now he's got to make sure he stays in front of the 23 here, though, Matt, before they cross the start-finish line. Needs to lead this lap to get that bonus point in that number 18 machine. So Right now, looking good, but again, to say Daytona, he's good to go. Talladega still got to go a little further, but looks like he will grab that lap lead in the 18. So put that bonus point to the 18 machine of Zach Workman. Again, every point's going to matter here, especially when you again talked about how close it was in that cutoff window. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for those guys. But then you start to get nervous. We'll drop back now to that second pack, though, as they look like maybe thinking about going 3 wide there with David Overstreet, but it looks like nobody's taking it, so he's going to fall back. Then we got to jump to the second pack, though, Matt, being led by Vicente Guerrero. Again, that was the concern we just talked about, is he missed the draft there. And again, he was doing okay in points. He was 6th in points at 181. But again, Eric Laurie had 170 points. So it's only an 11-point swing between 6th and 8th. So he can't drop too far back. Again, he's in a good spot with where he is. As you see, he jumps to the top there. I think he was trying to see if he gets some help to get around the 74 there, Robert Jordan. And just, yeah, you can see kind of a little bit unorganized here. That's going to cost him, again, a little bit more time. Speaking of which, I was watching the lap times. Yeah, it was a 51:38 this last time by compared to 50:17 for the leaders. So they were, with that kind of confusion, they were over a second slower that last time around, and that's not what they need here. So unfortunately, a tough spot for him right now. But you never know. I mean, we're still, we think next time by, I believe we'll get to, next time by should be the halfway point in this race here. And I mean, that was kind of my race on Thursday, Matt, was, all right, I don't see any way I'm going to be able to basically to get back in it without a yellow. And that was what happened. We got a late yellow, and it brought me back into it to get a good result. So unfortunately, sometimes you need some others' misfortune to help your own fortune, and that's just the kind of the point of racing. But speaking of which, we saw the 18. He said he wanted to jump to the front, and he did. Now I'm watching his teammate in the 06 of Cody Nagels working his way up top in the third lane with Les Levy, David Overstreet helping. Not a surprise to see those two working that third lane. And this is a good opportunity for Les here because, again, Les right now is trapped 1 down here. So he needs to try to get around a couple of these drivers, I believe, to be... I'm sorry. He is the first car 1 down if I'm looking right on my timing and scoring. So, I'm sorry. Actually, Les is 2 laps down.
Yes.
In the 62. So actually, this is important for Les because if he can get up front here, again, if you get that timely yellow and be in front of the leaders, that could allow Les to get one of those 2 back. And at that point, once you get your second or one of your 2 back and being 1 down instead of 2 down, makes a big difference in your chances to get back in the race here. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that one closely.
He is just trying desperately, just trying to get one of those laps back. At least he does have some help out there, but he's gonna need more friends in that.
Yeah, he'll need a little bit of help. And the other thing too, Matt, is we're on 40 of 78, so we're another 10, 12 laps away most likely from our second round of pit stops as well. So probably around lap 50 to 54, I'd say, is the range of when we see drivers hit pit road. But I'm watching those the back of this first pack once again. Gabe Butler, Nick Manfredi's in there. I think these guys are saving fuel now. I think they want to go further later if they can, or shorten their final pit stop so that way instead of cycling into the mid-teens here in this pack, cycle up front and be right in the mix of it like we have right now with Dean Wilkinson and company. So with all that shuffling around, though, you see the 55 and the 171. They've gotten back in control of the inside lane, though, with Dean Wilkinson and Robert Rock. So, again, these two are doing a great job so far this evening. Again, as we have just passed halfway here, so we're under 38 to go here. Actually, at 38 to go now. But, again, anybody's guess here who's going to be able to pull this one out on top. But right now, we've got a 16 lead lap. Car breakaways. We got trouble in the back. Eric Laurie around. And that is going to change everything. Oh, big shot by Eric Laurie. He is up and over. Again, that was one of our drivers that was on the bubble. So there goes the bonus points for the incident-free race. That's a heartbreaker for Eric here. You can see he's going to try to grab a gear, loop that car around. And you see wisely backs it down and let the field go by. Now he's going to grab a gear and get back going again. But the important thing is he does have power. He can get the car back to pit road here. Won't lose a lap, it doesn't appear. So now we got to go back and what happened here to Eric Laurie to cause this caution, because he was kind of in the middle there in that 071. So let's focus on Eric here. We'll get a better look at it. So we'll pick it up.
Might have been a
looks like drifts up a little bit off of 4. Nothing looking too sketchy there.
Oh yeah, he
Oh yeah, just drifts up in
definitely
front of the
drifted.
411. Yeah, just wasn't clear.
Yeah,
And just catches the 68 of David Overstreet as well. And then here's everybody starting to make some avoidance. Oh, the 411 he catches the 68 a little bit as well. And then there's the 29. Tried to get to the top side, just wasn't able to get up there quick enough. And it looks like everybody else does a fairly great job of getting around. I do see a little bit of nose damage to Jay Hilliard's machine. Not sure from that incident or not. So we do have 3 cars pretty significantly involved. The 68, the 29, and of course the 071 getting up and over there. So that puts us under our first yellow here tonight, man. Again, we talked about it, those guys. That is the saving grace right now for Vicente Guerrero. Puts him back in the main pack here. We're going to have the whole field hitting pit road as everybody's getting tight on the entry there, trying to gain every advantage that they can. And it looks like no strategy. Everybody's going to roll onto pit road here. And then the question will be lucky dog driver, I believe, will be Randy Miner. Should get his lap back. So put the 101 back onto the lead lap here. And what I'm also watching is a few drivers I think going to take a gamble here, Matt. I'm looking at that 62, Les Levy. He's going to get one of his 2 back. And then also, I believe, actually, no, it looks like just those 2 are the ones, or sorry, the 019 as well. I'm sorry. Ivan Deschamps also going to try to stay out here, take the wave around for his lap back. So, and strategy wise, here's Gabe Butler. He's actually going to stay out, lead that lap. He's already led a lap, so that's already taken care of, but he's going to stay out, lead a lap, and then come in the next time around. And I'm going to start looking at the fuel numbers here, Matt, because we're going to restart this thing with about probably about 34, 33 to go.
36.
We're at 36 to go now, yeah, but I think so. We'll restart with 34, 33 to go, roughly. So it will still require at least 1 pit stop to the end. The question would be how short of a pit stop it would need to be, because you can probably, again, we know you can go 26 on fuel. So the question is maybe how early do you want to pit again? So it's going to give us a really big pit window to see when these guys, if anybody maybe tries to jump in early or not. So that's going to be fun to see strategy-wise. Can let you know that Eric Laurie is back on track. Again, had to use the fast repair, unfortunately, but is back in business, so that's good news for him. Randy Miner, he got his way around. He's on pit road right now. He's getting service done to his car, getting back going. And like we said, the 019 and the 62 going to stay out here. This is going to be a gamble for them because they're going to need a caution or some sort of help at least. Otherwise, they're going to have to pit very early because they last pitted at lap 22 and 26 respectively, whereas now everybody else that just pitted on lap number 42, Matt. So they can't go too much further until they have to make their scheduled final stop.
So remember, I remember everything from last week. So last week, these guys had a mid-race caution just like this last week. So they may cut it in half, cut this run in half, so that would have less time on pit road. So probably around 65 or maybe 66. I think you see some of these drivers
I think
back down pit road.
I think 20 to go should be definitely safe to make it to the end. Without any drama. And I think the magic number is also going to be, isn't just a lap, it's going to be making sure that you do 1 can of fuel. I think with the amount of laps left, I think they'll be able to pull off the 1 can of fuel strategy. See Gary Jenkins also rolling on the pit road behind him. Actually, it looks like a good chunk of the Bootknocker group. I see Brian Wang was on there, Eric Laurie back in as well, which I think for Eric that makes a lot of sense because he was already in the back anyway. Might as well just get that little bit of extra fuel. So what that's going to do, though, is that's going to put Bad Company now on the front row. With the 55 and the 171. So we'll see if there's any strategy here for these two to maybe try to go a little early to try to get lined up, or do they try to lead both lines together? So it's going to come down to it here, Matt, because again we are going to restart here with 34 to go. Can confirm Les Levy got the wave around, so he's got one of his 2 laps back, so he's back to just 1 lap down along with Ivan Deschamps. Ivan did actually hit pit road in the 019, so I'm a little nervous about that because with the big tracks, usually it doesn't matter if you're a lap down or lead lap, you actually want to pit the first time by. So maybe a possible penalty for the 019, so that could be a risky one for him. So to keep an eye on the 019, see if we see an unscheduled pit stop, and if that's the case, we'll know what it's for. But yeah, so at this point though, Matt, we know we got 1 pit stop to go, and it's going to be a short pit stop, so the question is going to be kind of who blinks first, and then what kind of response do we see from the others?
I'm showing no penalty for the 019.
Well, that's good then.
Wow.
No penalties are good.
Yes, sir. So, I really like the strategy by the boot knockers down there. Staying out of trouble, staying in the back. You know, these guys might get a little bit anxious. Try to get everything out of it before they have to come in for that final pit stop. But we'll see. We got a long way to go. We got about 35 to go coming to the line here.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 35 to go here at the line. Will be 34 remaining. And yeah, and the thing, I go back to some of the domination races I've seen from some of these guys like Kevin Freeze and the 23 of Brian Wang. I mean, again, they were able to run just ridiculous lap times together. So the idea of them being in the back isn't the worst idea, but as you see them get going in, indeed, I think Dean went just a little early, able to sneak right in front of the 18 and Zach Workman, so those two can get lined up together again with bad company. You see Dude Conrad and JD Crow, expect to see them get hooked up together here. And also watch for Bud Steele in the 6. If he can get lined up those two up top, or the front two on the bottom lane, so you expect to see Bud work with them as well as part of that bad company organization. So right now, not surprised to see the 5 and the 8 making the charge up top. Expect to see those two work together. But yeah, everybody else is going to have to try again, just kind of pedal a little bit to try to catch back up to make sure all is well. And looking to see on track, looks like everything else is going. Everybody looks to be in good shape here. Les Levy is back in the main pack. As you see, a little bit of connectivity issue there that, for one of the drivers. I think it's Randy Meyer. They're trying to get him cleared. It looks like Randy backing it down to stay out of the way. So again, the respect from Randy is always nice to see what these guys do week in and week out. But yeah, up front though, it's the 55-171 leading the way, kind of controlling this thing again here. But I do wonder, I feel like there's going to be some strategy where a group of drivers say, hey, let's pit early and see if we can try to catch these guys out and then just run basically monster draft laps and try to break away from the field. So we'll see if that comes into play or not. Right now, like I said, we're kind of in not quite two packs, but almost two packs here, as Gary Jenkins is leaving a little bit of buffer area between himself and Nick Manfredi. And Eric Gloria, he's gonna have to push and say that's exactly what he's doing. He's just shoving Les Levy back to the main pack. Doesn't want to lose that draft because Randy Miner is at risk of losing that draft with the 019 of Ivan Deschamps. So right now they got to try to chase back up there, but it's going to be tough sledding for them because they're not locked on together here. As up front, the 55 still leads as the 8 now making a good charge though with help from JD Crow. And speaking of pushing, Les Levy runs the fastest lap of the race at last time by in the 62. So Les leaving nothing to chance. Again, though, for Les, he did not pit. He stayed out to take that wave around and try to get one of his two back. So he's going to need some help to get maybe that timely yellow to get back into the mix here. So we'll have to keep an eye on Les and see what he's able to do. But right now, though, you see right there, Dude Conrad takes the point, though, able to get that push from JD. Cleared the 55, drops down to the bottom. Does Dean react and respond and goes top? Yes, he does. He's going to try to sneak to the outside. Big bobble by Robert Rock. Oh, my goodness. Hey, that car somehow stayed pointing in the right direction.
It looked like from my end, he looked like he was indecisive of where he wanted to put his car, but I'm not sure if he wiggled or not. I couldn't tell.
I almost looked like a hesitation. Maybe, like I said, spotter may have called clear, and then maybe for a split second heard car low or car high or something like that, and then yeah, you're right. Then you're just trying to gather the car back up. But basically what we've done now is we kind of swapped the inside and outside lanes. So now you got the 18 and the 8 on the bottom with the 5. You have the 55 and the 171 up top. Now the 78 starting to close some ground on them. I'm also watching Brian Wang. Looks like he's decided he's going to try to move a little further forward here in that 23 machine, but right now kind of still pinned about right outside the top 10 there in that second lane. So right now everybody's kind of settled back in here, that 2x2 racing. But though again, the one we'll have to keep an eye on is on the pit stop strategy is Les Levy again pitting last at 26. So we know he can go to probably about 52, maybe even now 53 or 54 with the caution laps. But Les Levy probably got to pit in about the next 3 to 4 laps, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say about a couple laps. You remember he was running by himself, so he's going to be burning a lot bit more fuel. So maybe about 2 laps from now.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on the 62. Again, he's hoping for a little bit of luck to kind of bring him back into the mix here. But again, he should be able to make it though, Matt, to about to on the one more stop strategy. So again, pitting at 26 would mean 52. So yeah, so that'd be in about 3 more laps. But yeah, so maybe 54 we'll say safely. Just depends on how much he was able to save under caution. But up front though, Dude Conrad, he has taken the point here pretty comfortably with help from Zach Workman. Got JD Crow right behind him as well. But here comes the 78 Donald Stewart getting a great push here from Jay Hither in the 59 machine. So say these guys aren't just going to kind of sit around and wait and kind of let the race come to them. They're going to go after it right now. As can confirm, unfortunately, though, Randy Minor has lost the pack. He's about 1.8 seconds now and growing behind Dan Harrington. But we're now watching this front battle here between that 8 and the 78 as they head back into 3. All right, Matt. So now the question is going to be pit strategy. Do you pit early? Do you pit late? What do we feel like is going to be the winning strategies? I'm actually watching now the third lane. Gabe Butler and Eric Laurie said, you know what? Let's not settle. Let's just not ride. We're going to go for it here. They've picked up the third lane. Just the two of them are going at it pretty aggressively. I'm watching the 90 Gary Jenkins. I think he's going to try to tag along with them. But right now they haven't quite got the momentum built up yet. But as soon as they say that, the momentum starting to come back into the form of that 071 as there goes the 23 of Brian Wang. He saw the momentum too. He jumps up top there. And so we get back to 3x3 racing. And I say that's pretty much a perfect opportunity, Matt. Let's go ahead and let's listen to these guys as they blow on by here. So let's listen to these guys as they go down the straights. And Kevin, I'm in complete agreement with you. I think pitting early is probably the way to go. As you saw right there, Brian Wayne clears the 8 of Dude Conrad. He drops to the bottom. Saw for a second Eric Laurie thought about dropping low as well, but opted to stay up top with his teammate Gabe Butler. Watch them to make a big push in that third lane. Both of them try to, I think, clear the 78 of Donald Stewart. A couple on the apron there. Looks like everybody's able to hold on to a little moment there for Nick Monfretti and Robert Rock, but all is still well. But right now, Brian has cleared the front pack. He's gotten to the inside. And so for the 071 and the one still tied on the third lane outside of that 78 of Donald Stewart. All right, Matt. So we've got Kevin's input. He thinks pitting early is the way to go here. Basically, once you're in your window, what are you thinking if you were driving in this one?
All right, so if I'm driving this one, if I have my teammates all synced up with me, I say a lap 60 to 61 would be my target lap. Probably could just get that one can at field, no tires, and send her on her way. Hopefully, no penalties. I'll stay good and tight all together. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I think I think I'd be somebody. I think I might go a little earlier than 60. I feel like 60 might be further than I want to go. I'm thinking probably try to pit with about 23, 22 to go, let's say. So pretty much in the next 3 laps, I think I would try to hit pit road. And that being said, Les Levy, he's still hanging in here. He's still in this main pack. But again, he's going to be pitting probably very soon. As again, we're down to 25 to go. So he's in his window. He can make it to the end. But again, he's going to have to put more fuel in his car than these leaders are. So right now, though, I say he's still hanging on, doing all he can, just hoping for that break to get him back into this race. What I'm also watching, though, is those boot knockers. That third lane did not work the way they were hoping to. They got Brian Wang up there, but then that was as far as they could go. As up there goes the early call here. Like you talked about, the 18 is in, and also bringing the 06 and the 14 along with them, as it looks like also Les Levy is coming along with them as well. So here they go, though. That was the window. 24 to go for these guys for the Limitless team. So now they just got to make sure they hit their pit stalls, hit everything right, and then get lined up together quickly. Again, Les Levy's going to need more fuel in the 62, so he probably won't be able to kind of tag on along with him, unfortunately. So we'll keep an eye on them. But right now up front, it's still the 2355 controlling the front pack here. So, but now the question is, Matt, do you think we'll see an instant reaction, or do we see these guys go and stay on and Looks like those three are able to nail their pit stops. Like we mentioned, Les Levy, a longer stop. He needed more fuel. That was expected. It looks like so far so good for those limitless drivers.
Yeah, it's too bad for Les there. So I'm now just waiting on the boot knocker group. When are they going to pit?
Yeah, that's going to be the question. Let's jump over and look at those limitless guys, and you see the 14, the 06, they're locked on. They're going to pick up the 18 of Zach Workman, and actually it may not be too bad, too, because they're going to steal a little bit of draft off that 019 as well of Ivan Deschamps, so they're going to gain a little extra speed here, maybe kind of help them build some speed a little quicker. So once everything settles in, I do want to try to keep an eye on lap times, but again, they're going to need a lap here to kind of fully get up to speed. So as I like to see how they compare after their pit stop with the trio of them compared to the pack that we got, because I'm seeing a lot of separation between some of these drivers. But so far, no obvious signs of pitting, and again, no takers here. So we'll see. Well, the lap times are going to be the kind of the telltale here, in my opinion, Matt. So we'll watch the leaders' lap time as they go by, see what they run. As for Dean Wilkinson and Brian Wang, it is a 50-26 and a 50-33. But again, we're going to have to wait about a half a lap before we get to that next pack, because Zach Workman and they just worked around the 019. So again, you can see they're drafting aggressively together, and this is what they're going to have to do here. They're going to have to probably take a little bit of risks here and try to push that 18 as hard as they can to try to make sure that they kind of don't either A, don't lose time, but also ideally B, gain time on this main pack. So, and again, pit stop time is the other important one, Matt. 6.6 seconds was their time stopped on pit road.
Yeah, that's pretty short. Now, let's see, what was your time?
Dean's
right
in,
there?
here we go. And they ran a 50-27, so they were just a couple hundredths quicker. But here they all, another group hitting pit road. It's like a bunch of TW Motorsports along with Bad Company. Robert DuPont in there as well. Bob Fitzgerald in this pack as well. So these guys are going to make their pit stops here. Again, a few laps later here with 21 to go, which is now going to cycle Eric Laurie to the point in front of Brian Wang. And so, yeah, so again, the lap times, though, are looking pretty good, though, for those three drivers. Even just the three of them, that 50-27, that's a good lap time. So, like I said, they need to maximize in and outs. And looking at the pit stop time for these guys that just pitted, right around the same window, about 6 to 7 seconds or so on pit road. So, they're trying to be as quick as they can. And again, but looking for a response, and the answer is no up front. They're going to try to go a little further.
Yeah, because there was my target lap. That's why I would have pitted.
All right, so now here they come. These are the first drivers out of pit road. Dean Wilkinson wins that race off of pit road for these guys. So now we look for Zach Workman, Cody Nagels, and Vicente Guerrero, and here they come. They're going to get right back up with them. I don't think they're going to maybe net to the lead, but they will stay in this main pack, so it's a good stop for those three. And say, of course, they're going to try to build that momentum and see if they can continue their way around, but I think at this point, Dean Wilkinson, Jay Hilliard, Donald Stewart, they've kind of already evened out here, and they've got the three of them pretty well latched on. Robert Rock's about to tag on there as well. So great job by these guys to kind of manage that time difference. So again, we'll be watching lap times, because right now Eric Laurie, last time by, he ran a 50-41, Matt. And actually Zach Workman with the help of some draft, of course, but it was a 49.83, so about 0.6 of a second quicker, with kind of getting a little bit of an extra toe here and all that. This time by is actually a 50.02 for Eric Laurie, so that's that main pack here, lead pack I should say, is starting to pick up their pace as well. And that's not a surprise to see. So some good lap times being set. Everybody's starting to really push hard here. But can confirm though, Zach Workman and Cody and Vicente, they did clear the TW and the Bad Company drivers, so now they control this the main pack of those that have pitted. They're also going to steal a little toe off that 101 of Randy Minor just to help that lap time even further. And that time by it's a 49.91, so about a 1/10 of a second quicker for Zach over Eric that last time by. And I say again, we'll try to kind of compare them as best we can here. So it was a 49.91 for Zach Workman. Eric Laurie this time by was a 50.18, so actually about 0.2 quicker, nearly 0.3 quicker.
Yep.
So yeah, so right now these guys are making great time. Actually, I think we can cheat a little bit here. We'll go to the last lap time there. And so you can kind of see the lap times of your favorite drivers of the last time by. So you can see, of course, all the lead pack right in the same 50-18, 50-17s, 50-19s, and then you see right there in 11th, 49.90, 49.90, 49.92. So those are the numbers we're going to be watching for these guys. That's going to be important because, again, if they can continue to gain this couple tenths lap after lap after lap, this could net those limitless drivers being in the lead once the pit stop cycle is complete. But we've had both now, Matt. We've had the early pit stoppers. Now we're waiting for the late stoppers here. These guys look like they want to try to run it further. And then looking at the second pack, it was looking good. They're all kind of playing nice on the inside line. Now Dean Wilkinson decided, you know what, let's go up top here. We got numbers. We're going to try to jump up top. So you've got kind of, I think, a combo of Bad Company and TW. Also watching, though, Robert DuPont there. He's going to drop low, kind of even the grouping here. And there are theories which is faster, single file, double file. So we'll see which is the right call here. But right now the lap time's still looking great. Zach Workman and Cody Nagels working very, very well together.
And most definitely, they're running at least about 0.2 of a second faster than that lead group. They're going to have to do something, either swap different drivers in front of each other or get somebody else in the back of probably Gabe pushing the 071, or they're going to have to make something happen.
I think we might be seeing that because I'm noticing Gabe has gone back to the 82 of Dan Harrington. I think they're trying to push this group a little faster here. We haven't talked about Dan too much tonight, Matt. He's right there. He's in this main pack, so I mean he's in it to win it with these guys as well. Again, these guys all still need to make a pit stop, so pretty much we have the top 10 still need to make one more pit stop in this race. From 11th on back, they have all made their final pit stops, so it's just all about kind of who's able to get what lap times and kind of where it's all going to cycle out. But right now, I'm kind of leaning advantages still going to the limitless guys and TW and company, Back Company. So we'll see as it continues on, because it was a 50-28 last time for Eric Laurie. For the 10th place the 11th place Zach Workman was a 50-21, so still just a little faster. But I have a feeling this time by Eric's going to steal a little draft, go a little quicker here with that draft in front of him, and not a lot faster. 50-23 for Eric Laurie. So these guys are starting to about run identical lap times as they're going to work around Bob Fitzgerald here.
Yeah, I'm just curious when these guys are going to pit. Just they're losing time as we speak. About 15 to go right now. Right now, I'm probably making my way out pit road to see where I would cycle out.
So the other potential strategy in this all, Matt, and say again, lap times right now, they're starting to become within hundredths of each other. But the potential lap time differences that I'm watching, if you're kind of mid-pack here in this group, like I'm watching, like let's say maybe like a Tom Dixon or somebody who I think has kind of been just cruising and saving for a little bit of time here, Tom's going to be able to put less fuel in that 411 machine, which means a shorter pit stop, which means even if they're losing a little bit of time on track, because actually last time by they were actually quicker than Nick Manfredi and company, or sorry, Zach Workman and company, as was a 50 flat for Eric and Brian compared to a 50-16. That's going to shorten your pit stop, and so that actually could be a benefit. So like I said, if you're not leading this group, you're not burning as much fuel, so this isn't a bad opportunity for a few of these drivers. It looks like we're going to start to see some drivers hit pit road now. And yeah, here they come. Brian Wing, Eric Laurie, JD Crow, Gabe Butler going to try to squeeze the middle here. And you guys, they're getting everything they can here. And it looks like the whole group is in. So they're all coming in at 14 to go, coming to 13 to go at the line. So they've all made pit lane. Now they got to make sure they hit their pit boxes and don't make contact with one another. And so far, so good. It's like everybody's able to kind of get themselves organized pretty nicely here. So now, as they all hit pit road, here's the lead pack here. Now, where do they all cycle out in relation? I already see a couple drivers rolling off of pit road. It looks like the first one that's going to make it off pit road is going to be the one of Gabe Butler. So let's watch off the back of that one car, and here those drivers come from Limitless and Company. This is going to be close.
I say they're going to be ahead of them by
Oh yeah, no, Limitless is going to pass them. The question is, I don't think they're going to clear them. I don't think it's going to be enough to break the draft. So there goes Zach Workman. He's now our leader as he gets pushed by Cody Nagels and clears those guys. But I think Gabe and them did enough here to tag onto the back of these guys. And yeah, they will not lose this draft. So we did not lose too many people during this whole pit stop cycle. I think we're going to still have, it looks like 18 drivers, Matt, in this main pack. Unfortunately, 2 that are going to lose the pack. are going to be Gary Jenkins and Nick Manfredi. Looks like they were not able to keep up, unfortunately, and also the 08 of Bob Fitzgerald. So at this point, Matt, it is on, and it's all to play for here. So yeah, so now everybody's gonna, okay, where do I want to put myself? Obviously, Limitless, they've done a great job. They run the front 3 spots here on the inside line, and you see Bad Company, they're starting to organize. Look at the 55, the 6, and the 171. They've got locked up on the second lane. Watch Gabe Butler. He's going to get the momentum. I expect to see him jump to the 3rd lane. There he goes, right on cue. Gabe's going to try to lead this 3rd lane as he's got help from Brian Wang there as well. And like I said, it is all to play for here. Dude Conrad right in that mix as well. So, again, every point matters here. We know, unfortunately, the 071, he lost the 3 bonus points for involved in the incident, so he's not going to have an incident-free race. But so that's just going to mean he needs to go a little bit, I think, more aggressive to try to offset those lost 3 points and try to gain a couple more. So, but this lap by here, though, Matt, it's going to be pretty tight between the 18 and 55, and it's pretty much a tie at the line. But we are almost down to it here, 11 to go. We'll see if we can make it green or not the rest of the way, or we get some late race restart drama.
No, I don't want that. I want to see a nice, good finish, because the way this played out and when the pit stops played out and these guys meet up together like that, I would like to see a nice, good, clean finish.
No, they've been doing an amazing job all race long. You said just the one caution thus far. And yeah, right now it's 3 by 3. It looks like about 5 rows deep. Actually, 4 rows deep. Here comes the 5th row there. Let's say 68 is going to join the party there as well, David Overstreet. And so it is all to play for here. So the question is, where do you position yourself here? Because I'm watching. I mean, there's literally nowhere to go right now. You're pretty much committed to the lane you're in here, and your only chance is going to be to push that guy clear of a line in front of you, and that might be your opportunity. Maybe then push a little bit further forward. So, and you talk about the dedication of the teams. Again, you've got Limitless on the bottom, those front 3 rows. The second row, you've got pretty much the Bad Company drivers along with some of the TW drivers. Third company pretty much got boot knockers. I mean, right now, like I said, there's a couple of drivers that maybe don't have a formal association.
Gabe's got them all clear right now.
But does he move? He does. He goes to the middle. Does he go to the bottom or not? No, he's going to stay in front of Dean Wilkinson. And again, this is a strategy called, he might be feeling safer. Hey, I like the middle lane better than the bottom lane. So Gabe's going to hop in front of Dean here. And like I said, Gabe clears. That's going to allow the outside row to push a little further forward. And that's exactly what Eric Laurie wants to have happen here, because, again, he needs to gain track position. And that's exactly what he's doing, as he's now working himself up into the top 10. Oh, it was a big move by Dean Wilkinson.
Big move. Wow.
Dean able to clear the 18 there. He said, all right, I know Gabe's going to try to keep me pinned in here. I'm going to go to the bottom, and I'm going to clear the one. Look at Zach Workman go. Now he jumps to the middle in front of Gabe. It is all to play for Matt. These guys are making those big moves now.
To tell you the truth, I'll be scared to make that move.
And that's the thing. These guys, I mean, it's like bread and butter for them. They just make it look so easy. So it's all shuffled around. For a moment, we had Gabe up front, but then Dean is able to clear the bottom lane. Then Dean leads the inside lane. Oh, he's got contact trouble out of 4.
Oh, my. That probably could have been a push gone wrong there.
Yeah, a number of drivers involved there. The 78, the 5's involved. The 06, Cody Nagel's involved as well. The 8 of Dude Conrad as well. So we'll have to go back. We'll take a look. Eric Laurie's again caught up in this one. So this is also good, Matt. This is important for Eric. This is going to be his last fast repair. We do have 2 this season. So Eric's going to have to burn his last fast repair in this race. And he's going to have to make sure he can keep it clean to the end. So we are going to get a couple at least one late restart, and it's going to be all to play for here. So let's go back. Let's try to find a better look to see where this all occurred. And I'm looking right around the 14 right now, Matt. What catches my eye is that 14's a little high here out of turn number 4. And I think this might be where everything gets kicked off here, as it looks like Vicente makes some contact. Yeah, it looks like Vicente got the right rear of Gabe Butler. As he drifted up, that got into Cody Nagels. And then from there, it's just there's just not a lot of place to go. As you can see, the front 3, they sneak by. A little bit of contact for Gabe in the 1 machine. And it looks like about from the 171, the 07, 59, 68, they are all able to sneak through. But unfortunately, from this pack on back, pretty much all getting at least some sort of a piece of it. So, yeah, so we're going to see probably a handful of pit stops, some fast repairs involved for some of these drivers. So, yeah, so unfortunately, a tough incident there for a couple of guys. But, yeah, this is going to just make things even wilder here. So I don't expect we'll see a lot of drivers from the front pack hit pit road. I think we'll see the 1 for sure, the 6 for sure. These guys are going to hit pit road, get damage repairs done to their machines. And now the question is, Matt, I'm watching a certain Les Levy here, the 62 machine. I think he has been able to make the strategy work again. He did pit. He did lose his lap again, but he's, I believe, still showing 1 down, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll wait for timing scoring to update. But this should push the 62 back onto the lead lap. Still watching him to see if he jumps up top or not to get that wave around. And, yep, there he goes. He's going to go and get waved on by. So great opportunity for Les here. Get back in the thick of this thing because, again, it's not over yet. You never know how these things are going to end. And yeah, so pretty much those drivers that did pit, though, you got Gabe Butler there, Bud Steele, Cody Nagel just came out as well, Dude Conrad. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. As like I said, there's no guarantees on this one. Zach Workman's in a great spot here. Again, he needs to gain some points to get back into it because coming into tonight, Matt, Zach Workman was sitting in the 11th position. And guess where Dean Wilkinson, who's leading this race, where was he sitting in points, Matt? 10th position. So these guys that are on the outside looking in, they are giving the races they need to have a chance to win this thing and get into that top 8 in points to make the playoffs. So everybody's, like I said, everybody's going for it. And we did obviously have a number of drivers lose that lose the quick incident free points there, the 3 extra points for an incident free race. So I'll say that's going to maybe help Eric Laureate a little bit on that front. I'm looking to try to see where some of his competition is because Robert Rock is 7th in points coming into tonight. Or I'm sorry, no, Randy Minor, is 7th in points coming to tonight. And Randy is in 12th position.
Wow.
So he's right there still in this one. And he pitted at 67 as he's ahead of Gabe and them who did have to pit under that yellow. So this is going to be really tight. We've talked about Vicente Guerrero. He's still right there in points as well. So, yeah, we're definitely don't go away. We're going to go through the points after tonight's race to make sure we can kind of confirm, pending, of course, admin review on things. We'll make sure we know who is in the top 8 after tonight's event.
Right now, a little extra boost for Dean Wilkinson. He's right now, as it stands, he has an incident-free race.
And I said that's going to be the goal. If as many drivers that are in that bubble, if they can stay incident free, that's going to be their chance to make this playoff. So they're going to need every point they can get. And like I said, it's going to be probably a situation where it's going to be someone's going to be knocked out by 1, maybe 2 points. All right, Matt, lights are off of the pace car, which means we're going to restart this thing next time by, which is going to be with 5 laps to go. Front row is going to be the 55 Dean Wilkinson, the 18 of Zach Workman. The 18 has a teammate right behind him, Vicente Guerrero. That's a great opportunity now for Zach. We know Brian Wing's a great pusher, but he hasn't really worked with Dean a lot tonight, but wouldn't be surprised to see those two have a good chance to work together here as well. Thursday night's winner, the 07 Robert DuPont, sitting there on 3rd row in the inside line. Then again, one of the teammates of TW Bad Company, the 171 Robert Rock, in the outside lane. And then at some point, the question is going to be, where does the third line form from? Will it be some of those drivers that had to hit pit road? Or even, look at Nick Manfredi. He's in a good spot to jump up top. The 101's right there. So, yeah, this is there's going to be some big moves made very quick here.
I was wondering where my boy Les Levy was at.
Les is at the back of this pack, which is probably might be the safest place to be right now. He's in 22nd spot, but is back on the lead lap. He did hit pit road there, so he caught the car service, tires, fuel, whatever he maybe needed just in case. And yeah, it's exactly right, Gunny. I say we're gonna have a 5-lap shootout here. Again, we're not quite into green-white checkered window yet, but I say it's gonna get. We saw how intense it was earlier. It's gonna get even more so now. Yeah, exactly. All right, Matt. So we're gonna get this going here. Pace car's gonna take the left, right there, hand it over to Dean. Now, look, we saw TW win a little early. Bad Company went a little early last time to try to get lined up together. But I think now, with as few laps as there are to go, and again, not having a teammate lined up with you, I think you wait till the absolute last moment to go. Keep the field packed up, because we know here at Daytona Talladega, you do not want to get too big of a lead here as they come through the tri-oval here. Get to the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out, and they are back going through the gears here. Dean's got a good little edge over the 23, and that's not what he needs, because look at the 18-14. They're already locked on together here. Zach Workman getting a great restart here as they head back into one. Already see the third lane starting to form. I think it's Bud Steele leading that third lane, but you see the 23, he's gotten to the 55, so they've kind of evened out for the moment. And so now it's going to be the kind of the push and shove game, because again, though, they can't stay locked on too long. They will overheat, but it's going to be in Brian's best interest if he can push Dean clear of the 18. He can jump top. That's exactly what he's done. Watch for Brian. Look at Dean. He's playing defense. He's already working his way up, kind of protecting the middle lane, and he's going to block the 23's momentum up top. And there goes Brian Wayne. He's going to drop to the inside. That's going to leave Dean now to lead the middle. Oh, the 18's going to squeeze the middle, push Dean to the outside line, as Zach Workman is going to make all the moves he can here to try to get to the front as we got 4 to go.
It is getting wet and wild up here. Oh my goodness.
Oh no, the aggression has ramped up a fair amount. You see Gabe Butler, he's pushing the 171 the outside, the third lane, trying to get that third lane going. And right now the 14 and the 18 trying to stay locked on together here as they head down the backstretch here. As we are at 4 to go, Brian Wing got a good restart, got the move he needed to, got to the front in front of Robert DuPont. The 68 of David Overstreet, he's right back into the mix in that country time machine as well. Man. Tom Dixon's right here. But right now, almost contact between the 68 and the 14. Everybody hangs on to it here. We still got to go at least 2 more laps here to make the white flag lap. So we're coming around here, 3 to go at the line, Matt.
Oh, man. I remember last week, Zach Workman came over so close to get his first win. The question is, can he get his first win here tonight? He lost last week by at least by 1/1000th of a second. Hopefully tonight will be his night.
Yeah, so I mean, he's got the teammate behind him to help him do it, but at some point you know somebody's going to jump, and there's Nick Bonfredi. He jumps to the outside. He saw the momentum going, and he's, a little bit of contact. They're going to check up the outside line.
Oh, we're good.
Oh, they hang on to it. We stay under green here, but that was close there. He took a gamble. It didn't pay off, unfortunately. That slows the third lane's momentum down, so that continues to let the 18 and the 23 fight for the front. As we're going to come around here for 2 to go at the line. Gabe Butler going to look top. The 06 going to try to go top as well. Again, everybody's, I think, trying to start playing defense and wants to be that first person to make the move up top.
Well, looks like Gabe Butler's going to make that move, and looked like Cody Nagels was trying to see if he wanted to go with, but I opted to back out. But Gabe Butler is got a little bit of gap between him and the 071.
Yeah, and Eric needs to go, though. He needs to try to get to the 1 there, because that's his chance to try to get this race. And you see 55, Dean Wilkinson, he saw the move. He said, I'm going with you. And at that point, Gabe has no choice. He's going to have to stay behind the 55. So now we're back to 3x3 here as we're going to come around here. We're coming out of 4 here, Matt. Maybe going to take the white flag this time by. Again, they got to get to the start-finish line before they take the white, before this one will be on the official final lap of the race.
I got to look at that momentum on the outside. Gabe is pretty much, I think he's going to push him till his car blows up right now.
White flag is out, so this is it, folks. Is right now Dean Wilkinson on the outside, Zach Workman on the middle, and Brian Wang on the inside line. These guys, like I said, they're going to push probably until these motors pop. But again, they got to make sure, if you're going to push, you got to make sure you have enough at the end. Otherwise, your momentum is going to lose all of its speed. And right now, it's Dean by a nose, but not enough to clear yet.
Not enough.
And I think if it's in Dean's best interest, I think you stay with the 1 here. So we'll see now who gets the best shove out of 4 and through the travel here for the final time.
Oh, now I'm getting nervous here. Now look at that. Will that top lane have the momentum to cross the start-finish line here?
Right now, Brian Wing's got a good push on the inside. He's got the short distance, but will the momentum be on his side? It is going to be tight at the line, but it looks at the end. It's going to be Brian Wing getting the win over Zach Workman. Robert DuPont's going to bring it home in third. Another podium for the 07 machine. And then Dean Wilkinson, Vicente Guerrero going to round out our top 5. Again, points are going to be crucial tonight, but we know there's no question tonight the winner is that 23 of Brian Wing from help from Robert DuPont. Great job by those two staying locked on together. But Zach Workman, a very, very crucial podium finish, getting that runner-up spot. Will it be enough to get him into the playoffs here? And then, will that incident coming through the start-finish line at the Tribal, will that affect the outcome of this race as well, Matt? Let's go back and we'll take a look at that, see who all was involved in that incident there. Because that could play an outcome here. Like I said, if someone lost a bunch of points at the end, this may hurt a few drivers' chances, depending on where they were in the points. And you can see the stack up there. And, I see the 6 of Bud Steele there with a little bit of movement there. But right now, so trying to see where... Oh, there, 171 there, Robert Rock. You see the contact with him into the 90, into the 62 of Les Levy. And, unfortunately, these guys all just go for a pretty big ride for the 171 there across the line. But tonight, though, unfortunately, not the results some were looking for, but we do know, though, as we go back live, is our race winner tonight is this number 23 of Brian Wing as he celebrates. So while we watch this celebration here, I'm going to run through the points real quick, Matt, because we got to see where our drivers are going to wind up after tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty close on points. We'll see. I don't have actually the points in front of me. You have all the magic.
Yeah, so we're going to pull up those results as we speak. And of course, the other thing too is got to make sure that we account for the drop weeks and all that. So we got to make sure everything is absolutely set perfectly here tonight. So sorry for a slight delay. All right, I believe points have been formally updated with our top 7 results out of the 8 races. But before we get to all of that, let's go ahead and start chatting with our top 3 here, Matt. We're going to kick it off with our 3rd place finisher tonight.
If I can find him. There he is. I got him.
All right, let's go and pull up our 3rd place finisher in the number 07 tonight of Robert DuPont. And Robert, another podium tonight. So I got the big win, obviously, on Thursday night. But, man, you have been on a roll here tonight, able tonight to push Brian Wing to the win. And also, of course, importantly, getting a great result for yourself, locking you into the top 8 in the points for the playoffs, formally finishing 2nd in the points tonight in the regular season and going into the Final Four starting next week. I mean, just what a race for you tonight. I mean, and it's just been a great season as well for you so far in these 8 races. Obviously showing our top 7 results for it, but right now you had 3 top 5s, 6 top 10s out of the 7 of your 7 best starts. And I mean, to beat some of the drivers in the points that you have, I mean, again, look at some of the names like J.D. Crow, Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagels, Dean Wilkinson. There's some big names in there. I mean, and to be only 2nd in points going into the playoffs behind Gabe Butler, who we know has just been on a tear so far. I mean, this is a good season for you so far.
Oh man, it's been a fantastic season, and I've had a lot of good luck, and man, I came away with 3rd. I put myself in some pretty good positions, and the best thing I can do was just push him to as hard as I could and come out with the best finish I could tonight. I was hoping for a top 10, but came out a little better than that.
You're on a hot streak, and I don't think that flame's going to go anytime soon. You've been showing these guys
keep it strong.
Yeah, you've been showing these guys every week, and what it takes to stay up front, week in and week out. Continue that momentum. Just a very, very excellent job there, my friend.
Thank you very much. Yep. So I hoping we can continue going. I'm so happy that I'm going to get that P beside my name, and let's see what we can do.
So going into the playoffs, how do you like your chances?
I think my chances are pretty good. I feel like I got to win some races, and I feel like maybe Gabe Butler might have to have some bad races, but I think he's got it pretty locked down. So we'll have to see. I'm gonna just run, as best I could. keep running the races that I keep running. You know, what I mean, I'm not too aggressive, and I just try to put myself in the right spot at the right time at the end. And I felt like I'm getting really good at that. So let's just try to continue that, and we'll see at the end. These are some tough drivers I'm racing against, and
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's been like I said, it's been a really really good season for you. And so to like I said, to get obviously first to just get to the playoffs itself is a challenge in itself, but then like I said, to be as competitive as you've been week in and week out. And, I mean, nailing the pit stops and everything. I mean, you've been doing everything right. I feel like the one possible disadvantage you've been having so far this season is you just don't have the numbers kind of in your Discord that the other teams have. Like, have you tried to maybe talk to any drivers like, hey, like, maybe we can work together here for those that aren't part of the big organization, or do you just kind of see who's around you at the right time, right place, and try to work with them? I mean, how do you manage that being kind of one of the smaller teams, I guess you could say, on the Sunday series?
Well, I wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? Tonight I was actually in Boot Knocker's room. I was running with them guys, but and I've gained a lot of friends, out there. So I feel like I might not, it might not seem like I have, some people out there that want to help me out, but they're actually out there. So, and then I kind of just try to run my own race. You know what I mean? And if I can help somebody out, I help them out. So and I think that's kind of an advantage to me. I don't have to put myself in a crazy situation. I just run my own race,
Yeah.
and that's what I do, and it's
That's
actually
yeah.
helpful. And then I run everybody like they're my best friend. So actually, I have help out there. It might not seem like it, but I do.
That's a good way to put that. Wow. This is just a fantastic job, my man. As as we do here in Green White Checker TV, Gaio usually says it, but I'm gonna say it this time. Uh, how about some thank yous and shouts you'd like to thank for that third place finish?
Yeah, I want to thank Area 51 for putting on these great races. Uh, and yeah, I want to thank DuPont Motorsports and all you guys for putting out broadcasting. You guys do a wonderful job, and everybody that helps out runs clean. So thank everybody and all these guys that come out. We couldn't do it if we didn't have these drivers that came out here and participated. It would be so we got to thank every one of these drivers for coming out and doing the best that they can, and they all run pretty good. So good luck to everybody.
Yeah, great job tonight, Robert. Like I said, obviously still got some work to do over on Thursday to make sure you try to get into the top 8 over there as well. But
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
try to win that baby.
exactly.
I'm
It's
gonna
like,
come out hard on that. And, I mean, I'm not gonna race too hard, but I'm seriously got to come out with at least a a top 5 or something. Something's good got to happen over there. So let's hope. Let's see what happens.
it's like I said. I mean, you open the door and saying those opportunities just keep happening, man. And so it's been great to see, like I said, see your success this season. So, good luck, obviously, here for the Final Four, but also good luck, of course, on Thursday to make that Final Four as well. So we'll be watching. We'll definitely be rooting you on, man. But go enjoy this
I know
one.
you guys do. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys very much, man. So you all have a blessed one, buddy. Mm.
You do the same.
All right, Matt, that's going to jump us now to our runner-up tonight in that number 18 of Zach Workman. So I'm still waiting for, I have the points. I'm not 100% sure on them because obviously, like I said, there's some that will be subject to the kind of admin review and things and so on and so forth on that side. But man, Zach, we knew you had a shot going into tonight. It was gonna not be the easiest, but I mean, you did everything in your power. You guys made some great strategy with your limitless team to pit early, kind of get to the front there. You, Vicente, and Cody were kind of in control for a while, and then unfortunately, kind of that later yellow split things up a little bit. Lost a couple of helpers there, but I mean, you guys were making some big moves, especially you were able to kind of jump around and get yourself into that best position to have a chance to win this race. I mean, how stressful was it? Obviously, going easy at the beginning and then towards the second half of that race, it's like, okay, it's time to go and make those moves. I mean, how stressful was it for you tonight to just put yourself in position?
Honestly, pretty stressful. I kind of hate these, like being on the bubble and worrying about all these points, but I had a good team around me, so we knew what number we had to make for pit stops. We know we have to make at least 26 or 27 to make to lap 53, and once you can make 53, you can make it to the end fine. We got a caution around lap 40, which kind of threw a wrench in that strategy because we knew we had to pit, again, anyhow. So we wanted to go as early as possible, get really aggressive. So we went with 54. A lot of the other leaders stayed to like 56 or so. But I think we called the right race. Unfortunately, Cody got involved in one wreck later in the race. So kind of eliminated one pusher, but I still had Vicente behind me, and he was giving me hell. And then Dean got in front of me there. I don't think normally I would have did a move like that. I think I would have probably just pushed him, but
yeah.
there was enough of a hole that I'm like, I have to take this. So good driving on him for, not getting involved there and fighting back for a nice top 5, getting himself in there. But yeah, it was just super stressful, just trying to do everything I can to stay up front, try to get the win. And we gave her hell, but just one spot short.
Yeah, they will. I say, like I said, I know I'm not official 100% sure. I'll say I'm going to wait to kind of chat with the powers that be because I don't know all the rules on the points and so on and so forth. But yeah, like you said, unofficially as it stands, ninth in points, one spot out, and that's something we talked about is like just bonus points. I mean, you did everything you could. Like you got obviously led some laps there. Looks like at some point got involved in some sort of an incident to give you a couple of incident points to kind of to kind of unfortunately break away the incident-free race of it. But I mean, how do you go about that kind of that managing that risk versus reward? Like I said, okay, I'll play it safe, and I'll just go incident free. But it's like, well, but if I do that, I might be giving up, let's say, 4 spots. It's like, well, I'd rather have a 4x and those 4 positions. I mean, how do you balance the aggression versus the kind of the cautiousness of being right there on the edge?
Well, you got to be cautious pretty early, I think, and then at the end. There's a point where you just got to hammer down and go for it. We got that X when that Cody and Gabe wreck, I think net code, he kind of net coded into our rear. So that's what gave us the 4X. So that was unfortunate. But after I got that, it's like, all right, we don't got the incident free bonus, hammer down, no questions asked, try to get up front, see where we fall. And it was just a little short, unfortunately, but we gave her hell.
It was an amazing run for you guys. It was a lot of fun to watch, and like I said, I'd say don't count chickens yet. Like I said, I'm gonna talk to the powers that be because I only know so much about how it's all done on the back end. So either way, though, like I said, worst case scenario, say you put yourself in the best position of not making it in, but. I mean, it's been a tough season for you. But like I said, Matt and I were talking. You were so close to getting the win last week, and another runner-up here tonight. I mean, it's been turning the right way. It feels like on the second half of the season, though.
Yeah, with the only 8 races for a regular season, you got to make sure you don't get really any bad races. And unfortunately, the last 2 seasons, like the first 3 or 4 races, I started really bad, like really poor. Kind of put myself in a hole. And then got to claw my way out. And, there is a couple races there in the first 3 that, I could have easily got another pointer here, though. So it wasn't all fall on tonight, like that I didn't get it done. There's many other races I could have got it done, but just unfortunate start. Put myself in a hole and almost climbed out of it.
Like I said, it was a great run regardless, man, and definitely not one to hang your hat on. So definitely want to give you the shout out here, give the floor here for any thanks and shouts for the runner up tonight, and the great run all season long, man. Because like I say, we still got 4 races to go. Definitely hope to see you in the remainder of them going for the wins here as well. But definitely want to give you the floor for any thanks and shouts, and of course the great sponsors and partners you got on the side of that machine.
Well, first got to thank my team of Limitless, Cody Nagels, and Vicente Guerrero. I mean, they were just full on committed to me, so really appreciative of them helping me out as much as they can. Got to thank RBN Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We talk about NASCAR, and we'll talk about the Texas races just happened if you want to hear that. I don't think you do, but then I got to thank Instacart for being a sponsor of my other series, and thank all the fans that support this league, the admins that do a great job, you guys in the broadcast booth. Always love seeing the broadcast afterwards, and gotta thank my parents for supporting me. They always watch me every race, and yeah.
Yeah, it's always fun to chat with your dad here and there on YouTube as well. So definitely appreciate them watching and supporting you as well. So man, great job tonight. Like I said, definitely not one to hang your hat on. Looking forward to seeing you the rest of the season. And then yeah, we'll hope to see you full tilt after the next season as well. So great job tonight, man. Hopefully we'll be chatting again soon.
10-4. Thank you guys.
All right, that leaves us one driver left to chat with. And that is going to be the race winner in that number 23 machine tonight of Brian Wang. Was in a good spot, put himself in a good spot, made some big moves to get back to the front, and was able to roll the inside line to get the win here tonight. Brian, I mean, you have been on a tear since you've hopped in over on the trucks over here as well with the Xfinity cars. I mean, we know how good you are. It's been a little while since we've seen you, but I'd say there's no rust to shake off. I mean, you and Kevin have just been dominant from the couple truck races you guys have done together, and then just showing how quick you are once again here tonight. I mean, you were doing a lot of big moves, a lot of just controlling the race at points. Yeah, I mean, take us through the race, and I mean, I'd say it probably feels pretty good to do everything you're able to do here tonight.
Yeah, that was a really good race from all of us, and yeah, some great pushing from Robert DuPont at the end there. But yeah, towards the front of the race, I was just saving fuel and just staying at the back. But then towards the middle part of the race, I just decided to go for it and just be super aggressive and get to the front. And yeah, we got to the front and we were able to get the lead.
And then, yeah, so that second part of the race, like I said, when it was time to kind of all bets were out, I was like, okay, we've got what we've got, it's time to go. There's some big moves being made. I mean, at one point we saw you were trying to work the middle side. Dean was trying to kind of keep the middle lane to himself as well. And you guys are jumping around, making moves back and forth. I mean, how much fun was that? Because, I mean, we've seen a lot of times, especially early on, you guys play nice, okay, I clear, I go to the bottom, and so on and so forth. But when it gets down to crunch time, there's some, okay, I know the lane I want to be in, and I'm going to kind of keep myself there. You guys were jockeying really hard there at the end. I mean, how tense is that for you guys? And I mean, just how much fun is it to do that with drivers that you can know and trust? Like, obviously, at that point was you and Dean, I believe, and then you and you and Zach at other points as well. I mean, just take us through those big moves at the end of the race.
Yeah, they were quite some intense moves, but that one move I made on Dean after the restart where he tried blocking middle and I went under him, that move I actually pulled on Kevin before we were teammates, and it was almost identical. And yeah, I guess that's where I learned that from.
It was a really good move. Like I said, it was the move that was able to get you to the front to be able to be in position to win this race, man. So, like I said, kind of part time this season, but the times you are here, I mean, you're one to watch and so on and so forth. So, I mean, it's just the dominance that you've shown in the little bit you've been here. I mean, so what are your plans going forward through the rest of this season and looking into next season? Is something that you're thinking about trying to maybe hop into full time again, or is it just kind of maybe based on the races you can make based on your schedule, or what can we expect to see from you the rest of the way here?
Yeah, I'll probably most likely be running full time next season. So yeah, both series probably.
All right, so a driver to watch out for the rest of the field. Brian, it's always fun to watch you run these things. Just the things you can learn as best you can from watching you are really impressive to see the big moves and just the outright pace that you've got. It's been a lot of fun, man, but definitely want to give you the floor here for any thanks and shouts that I could give for that win tonight.
Yeah, definitely thanks to everyone at Team Bootnaka, Dude, Eric, Gabe, JD, and Gary Jenkins. And thanks to you guys for the broadcast, Area 51. Thanks to Robert DuPont there at the end for the push. He was pushing amazingly. It was some really good pushing by him. And yeah, thanks to some other guys that don't race here, Sebastian Marin. And of course, thanks to Kevin. And I just want to say that this was definitely redemption for what happened on Thursday.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And finally, good to get the result you're looking for. Like I said, after a dominant night on Thursday, and there's just nothing going your way there at the end. But yeah, I'm sure, like I said, also feels good to kind of get that back as well. So go enjoy this one, Brian. I say great job tonight, man, and look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you.
All right, that is our race winner in that number 23 of Brian Wang. As I caught him just as he starts to make his celebration. Perfect timing on that one. And with that celebration, we'll also pull up our final results for tonight's event. And our race winner will be that number 23 of Brian Wang over Zach Workman, Robert DuPont, our top three. And then Dean Wilkinson, Vicente Guerrero rounds out our top five. Continuing, then you got David Overstreet, Gabe Butler, Randy Miner, Tom Dixon, Eric Laurie rounds out our top 10. Continuing on, Cody Nagels, Bob Fitzgerald, Dude Conrad, JD Crow, Dan Harrington, Bud Steele, Jay Hilliard, and Nick Monfretti in 18th. then we get to the unfortunate drivers that didn't quite have the results they're looking for here this evening, with Robert Rock there, Les Levy, Gary Jenkins, Donald Stewart, Ivan Deschamps, Robert Jordan, James Mohan, early retirees, including him, Jimmy Crow Jr., Paul Turner, and Guy Bracco in 28th. So the other thing to mention, and we talked about points, again, not 100% official. Got to double check it. We're going to talk to the powers that be and so on and so forth. But this is what we're showing for after tonight's event. We have our top 8 there. You can see actually tied for 7th there with Gabe Butler winning the regular season championship over Robert DuPont. But going into the playoffs will be Gabe Butler, Robert DuPont, J.D. Crow, Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagels, Dean Wilkinson, and then Kevin Freeze, Randy Miner showing as the tie for 7th, so which will be of course be 7th and 8th. And then just 1 point out there is that number 18 machine of Zach Workman by that 1 point that we talked about how close that could be. And then also Eric Laurie 3 points out in that number 071. And again, mentioned Eric losing the 3 bonus points, being involved in those incidents. Unfortunately, we talked about that's how important those are, Matt. So unfortunately for Eric, looks like he will be the odd man out in this one. Possibly also, like I said, not 100% sure, waiting on official standings and such from admins. Because the one that stands out to me is I don't know if there's a minimum number of races required to make the playoffs. So I'm not going to make any assumptions or guesses. But currently, those top 7 we mentioned, Kevin Freeze, Randy Miner, the last 2 getting in. So we'll wait and see. We'll know obviously going into next week, and you'll be able to tell. We'll have the nice little banners on the ticker for you to see where your favorite drivers are that are in the playoffs. And of course, I'll also have that little -P next to their names as well for most of them. So, man, Matt, what a race tonight. These guys were going after only 2 yellows tonight. But yeah, these guys, they gave it their all, and as I say, some of them were just so close. Just 1 or 2 points again just makes all the difference.
Sure does. Usually comes down to the ending. Just wow, it's just a phenomenal job. But too bad for our boy Zach Workman. Back-to-back second place finishes. There's nothing to be ashamed of that. Just don't hang your head up and go get him next week.
Well, and I said I can actually. I have a slight update. I was kind of poking around and asking some questions, and I was saying, and the question mark I had was with Kevin Freeze, and I can confirm that Kevin, it sounds like unfortunately won't be able to make a number of the playoff races. So he's actually going to be giving up his spot to the next in line, so that will actually promote Zach Workman into the playoffs.
Wow.
So again, and just the respect given. So I really applaud Kevin Freeze for doing that. Because he knew he wasn't going to be able to make the races and go for the title anyway, so he's going to give someone who can make it the chance to do it. So in the background right there, you see the 23 celebrating, so that 18 will be in the playoffs as well. So again, Kevin, great gesture. Really, again, that just shows what this league is all about. So really, really appreciate that, man. And obviously, you know that Zach will too. So I'm glad I can kind of announce that before we kind of sign off for tonight. But what a race, though, Matt. These guys, like I said, they were calm, cool, and collected, and then once it was go time, they went after it full tilt.
Yes, sir. And it's really respect that, Kevin Freeze. I respect you, sir, very much more than I have. But that's a pretty awesome job there, my buddy.
Yeah, it's something we've seen happen before. Again, there's no requirement to do so it's just a really kind gesture out of Kevin. So really appreciate that, man. I definitely will miss seeing you on track for going for the championship as well. But yeah, a really nice gesture, really kind gesture to him. And honestly, I mean, it could have been anybody. It could have been Eric Laurie that was able to sneak in there as well. So yeah, hats off to you, man. And yeah, so again, congrats to our top 8 in the points. They're going to be going for the playoffs next week, Matt, starting at Daytona. 4 races starting off at Daytona, and then I believe 3 at Talladega to finish it off. So it's somehow, again, it's down to the final quarter of the season. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll see who's going to come out on top. All right, so for those that are watching and supporting, as always, thank you all so much for watching us here at Green White Checker TV. Hope you had a wonderful time watching tonight. I say we always enjoy the support and have a wonderful evening this evening as well. And of course, as always, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you all on Tuesday night for the IndyCar Dark Horse Series IR18s. Until then, take care, stay safe, and have a good night.